Hey, this is Melanie from Melanie Ann Home Life. Who isn't into farmhouse decor? This guy is. My husband bought me a Cricut at the start of the pandemic, and I'm going to teach you how to make a farmhouse sign. Cheap, cheap, cheap. I got a Cricut and I love it. I make a lot of stuff. I even make my husband merch once in a while. But anyhow, I found a way to make these signs and they're super cheap. So basically this is a piece of pine. It was like probably 5 feet. My husband cut it into 3. Actually made a big sign for our porch, which I'll show you at the end of this video. But I'm going to show you how to make a farmhouse sign on the cheap. So first of all, I'm going to stain this board. Staining these boards does not have to be perfect because once you get your design on here, it is going to, this is just a background. I want to tell you, all you need is some old stain that's kicking around the house, some polyurethane for the end, and some acrylic paint. When I do this on my Cricut, I am going to use contact paper from the dollar store. It is so easy. You guys are going to be like baffled. It's your choice, but I like to do both sides of the board because then it looks finished. That's just mine. Don't have to. I really want to tell you, my husband's out here telling me where to stain, but this does not have to be perfect by any stretch of the imagination because it is going to be beautiful when you're done. So we're just gonna let this dry in the sun for about 20 minutes. It doesn't take long for the stain to dry. I am about to make my design on my Cricut. Little thing I'm going to tell you is I like to use the longest mat that I have, and it is 30.5 by 60. Also, when you cut the contact paper, you want to make sure it's on the paper setting so it doesn't shred everything, and that's going to be key for you. So I'm going to go ahead and quickly design this one. Gonna say get naked. It's for somebody's bathroom. I'm gonna weld them. So anybody that's a cricketer knows what welding is. And then I'm gonna click make it. So I weeded it out and I made it smaller. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm going to get this on this transfer tape. I'm just going to peel this off. It should come off no problem. And I'm going to place this exactly where I want it on my sign, which would be about here. I'm going to use my scraper. You can use a debit card. I'm just going to use my scraper. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm really going to just make sure it's on there. All right, so the get's on there. Now, let me just take the middles out of the naked. The best part about this project is if you have kids and they're bored, you can get them to do the acrylic paint. And that's always kind of cool because then they're part of it, right? Now I just got to put the naked part on here. Taking my big piece now. And I'm going to put it on here like this. Rub it, flip it. And it should peel off with very little trouble. Now, I'm going to position this where I want it. Just going to go over this with my little scraper. I'm going to go over again with my scraper. I'm going to do it a little slowly. I make sure it's on there good. Ta-da! It says get naked on here. What we're going to do is we're going to take some Mod Podge and we're going to seal down our letters. And that's it. This is where it takes the time though, because you need to let this dry and you really need to give this an hour, like a good solid hour. And you want to make sure you have all of it sealed. I'm going to tell you, there is no wrong way to do this. You really want to get it around those letters though. You want those letters sealed right down. Okay, Mod Podge is dry, so I'm just going to quickly paint over my letters. I want this to be very farmhouse, so I'm only doing one coat. Okay, so paint is dry. It's not cured appropriately, but it's dry. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna peel off the letters that I had Mod Podged. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna let this sit overnight, and tomorrow I am gonna varathane it, and then it's ready to go. It's all done. I'm really happy with how it turned out. So it's 24 hours later, well, give or take. We are going to now varathane this sign. It's turned out really, really well. A lot of times I varathane it. If it's going in the house, you don't necessarily have to. You could just put a thin layer of Mod Podge on it, but I'm gonna varathane it because I don't know where they're gonna use this. I'm gonna varathane the front, the back, and the sides. Usually you don't have to, but I just personally do that just so that I know that the sign's protected. So as promised, this is the sign I made last weekend, and it turned out wonderful. It's a great addition to our deck. We do enjoy our porch, so it's always nice to have it out here. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to click like, subscribe, and share this sucker everywhere. Tell your friends. Get on it. What are you waiting for? Melanie from Melanie and Home Life.